This story is something completely new, but yet still totally me. And I have to talk about it. Hi guys, it's April, and I'm going to do this review the same way I do all of my other reviews. I'm going to have the non-spoiler section up front, followed by the spoiled filled dump afterwards, in case you don't want to spoil yourself. But of course, I will not judge you either way. I just love that you are here. Now, this is going to be about a series of comics. It is a complete story. There are 3 volumes, which equates to, I don't remember how many issues of this comic, but I have to talk about it because it hit me in so many ways that I need to know if anybody else has read this story because... So what I am talking about is Nomen Omen. First of all, can we just take some time to look at these beautiful, beautiful covers? I absolutely adore this art style. I'm only going to hold up one volume because I don't feel like holding up all 3 volumes. And I think this one is probably my favorite of the 3 that I have. But Nomen Omen is the story of a young woman named Becky. The way she came into the world is kind of interesting. And because of who and how and what, she is the center of this whole, don't necessarily want to say a fae takeover, but a fae takeover. So King Tyrannus, he is a fae who is of the court of Manhattan, decides to take her heart for his own nefarious purpose to bring back the world as these magical creatures have known it for so long, and then humans took over and things happened. What I really, really love about this story is the fact that Becky, in our world, is completely colorblind. She sees everything in black and white. So the beginning of the story, you have a lot of this black and white going on. But as she starts to incorporate into this magic realm, this fae realm, whatever you want to call it, she starts to see colors. And the way the artwork incorporates that is absolutely stunning. I love how it was done. Now, the biggest thing about this story, as we start to grow with Becky and learn about all of this magical system, and we start to see some interesting characters like Lady Macbeth and other literary people who actually are part of this magical realm, is the fact that this story has so many nods to the Labyrinth that I died. Okay, I didn't actually died, but it pulled on my love of that universe and seeing all of those beautiful elements from the Labyrinth and how they're tied into this, and you get the feel for that dark, sinister side that not a lot of people talk about in the Labyrinth and the Fae realm. And it pulls into this story. Now, if you're going and you're looking for a happy ending or a feel-good story or something that concludes in a nice, neat way, this is not your story. It does have a little bit of feel of Sandman with how some of those more sinister, nefarious elements in the way the stories not necessarily conclude, but are told and the ending is set up. It has some of that feel to me. And part of it is because you're dealing with some of these same kind of hyper magical creatures and what all of that means. And you can definitely tell that there is a difference between humans and these fae magical kind of creatures and how feelings and actions and all that kind of stuff. And I like when we play with the fact that these are completely 2 different kinds of beings. They're not supposed to be similar. They're supposed to have this very harsh reality against one another. So I love the way the story is told. Visually, it is such a masterpiece. Plot-wise, it just Becky's development and Becky as a character, I think I just related to her a lot because she has some of this analytical programming mind. I mean, that is her. And so the way she translates magic into programming, I adored. And of course, I've already mentioned the fact that we have these nods to the labyrinth. We have the labyrinth dress in some of the scenes, and just the way that King Tyrannus is very much Jareth-like, and Becky is his Sarah in a way. I love that. And as much as the ending will probably annoy a lot of people, I enjoyed how it all came together in the climax, and then just how it is. I don't want to spoil any of it. So if you really enjoy this comic book realm, and of course the labyrinth, or just dark magic or things like that, I think you will very much enjoy this story. I highly recommend it. I need more people to read it so I can go and I can talk about it, because it is one of those stories that I feel like snuck in there and not a lot of people have mentioned or talked about or said anything in the realm of what this is, which is why I am bringing it up. And I need people to talk to about this, because please. So this is the point in the video in which I start talking about spoilers. So if you don't want to spoil yourself, go read the story, come back, and I want to start a conversation with you, because I have so many feelings, and maybe I wouldn't be so attached to this story if there wasn't so much labyrinth tied into this. But I adored it so much. You have a lot of these scenes, and I don't know if I can even find one right now, but Becky constantly ends up in the ballroom dress of Sarah from the labyrinth. And I had been feeling the tie-ins to the labyrinth before that point, but as soon as we started seeing some of that, and even the final confrontation between King Tyrannus and Becky has some of those same words that Sarah used against King Jareth. And that was just, it was all kinds of wonderful to me. And I think, this is volume 3. I really super want to find something that's not spoilery, but I can show this to you. And just the way that color is used in this story altogether, because I mean, just, it's gorgeous. This is something I would definitely want on my wall. I want it. I want the artwork from it. I think it's gorgeous. It's something that just speaks to my soul. It does have an ending that is hard to come to terms with, because there is no winners. They're all losers at this point. It's just the reality of how things are. So we've got, I don't know if you can I don't know if you can see this. Kind of in that, I don't know how to angle this. In that little groove there, you've got that dress that I keep mentioning. Just the story, it's a dark, magical, not necessarily fairy tale, but it's got touches and nods of that. And like I said, there's absolutely no winners in this story. Sarah, or not Sarah, see, now I'm thinking of her as Sarah. Becky definitely loses a little bit of herself in all of this, and you can't really come back from that. And King Tyrannus, he's won, but he hasn't won. I don't think he quite realized what all of it meant and how it's affecting him. And we've got a conclusion that, of course, as always in a lot of these comic stories, we can continue to play with the story if we wanted to. And part of me loves how this has ended, but another part of me wouldn't mind a little bit more, but that's how I am with a lot of my stories. Tell me down below how you feel about this ending, or whether or not you would actually want more in this story, in this universe. I would love to start a conversation with you guys. Otherwise, if you want to see more content like this, subscribe down below, hit that bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.